Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the NFL Bell. This will be the final episode, unfortunately, for this season, but we're going to go off with a banger. As you guys can see, we have our co-host Lou and some guests in the building. We have Narco Cop, we got Gordo, and then we have Evan, who should be joining us any minute now. Narco, Gordo, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing well, man. Getting ready for Super Bowl Sunday. And fucking bad season for my Vikings. They crapped out. They were
Who'd they
fluke.
lose to? Who'd they lose
They were
to? I don't remember.
Yeah, to the other garbage team. That didn't show up for the game against Philly. That team.
No, they did not.
But yeah, both those teams. My team was basically a fraud all year. I kind of feel like our defense was just fucking shitty, man. And I couldn't stand Donatel, so he's gone now. So hopefully, I like Brian Flores. So if you hear me complaining next year on Twitter about Brian Flores, then I'm the asshole.
Yeah, you guys are one piece away, I think, on the defense. Actually, no, you need a corner and a defensive lineman, but we'll see what happens next season. Gordo, how are you doing?
You know what? I'm doing okay. And kind of like Narco, my team kind of also, they missed out too. And it's a bit different when you expect them to do very well and then they don't even make the conference finals. So instead, you know what we do? We get drunk, we bet on stupid shit, and we have fun with it. That's what the Super Bowl is all about, right? I'm no American, but I know the American culture, and I'll get ready to go and talk about some games and have some fun. But before I do that, let me just say, all these jokes over the past few weeks about me being the laughing stock of the NFL Bell, Evan, you too, everybody else out there just mocking me, you get to say it to my face, and I'm looking forward to hearing it. Lou, you beautiful man, you better, for all those times you made fun of me, I better get some great bets from this show.
Can we explain to Narco at least like what started this? Because it made it amazing. Narco,
Yeah,
you want my point of view?
Narco, we did a shoey on the Washington-Minnesota game where we made 3 a push, and I took the Skins to cover, and he had the Vikings. And if it landed on 3 exactly, Gordo was going to do the shoey. Somehow, that's just the way that game played out. And like, I realize 3 is a common number, but like, there was no way that was going to happen. And that was the last we saw Gordo for till now.
Yeah, and he was volunteered to do this, by the way.
So he disappeared after that. That's what you're saying.
Well, I got forced to do a shoey, and then once they got the shoe out of me, I was no longer needed anymore, and it was just like it was heartbreak.
So they basically used you, Gordo.
They did, and then they mocked me and my Canadian culture for weeks and weeks. And but no, they made me some money, so it's kind of okay. You know, I heard Wiz is good at betting basketball or something. Maybe that's making up for it. Who knows? But Lou, you're stealing my money in the Iron Man, so you have a lot of making up to do for it.
I know. I'm like, doing all right there.
By the way, Gordo, you need to change those jerseys. There's no hockey, baseball, or basketball on the show. Oh, okay, it's hidden. Okay, I see.
I'm kind of ashamed right now.
I wonder why it's hidden. But before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and bring in our last guest, Evan. Evan's in the building. Evan, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing well. You excited for this?
Dude, I'm stoked. I'm sad because it's the last week of football, but happy to be here.
You and us both. Let's go ahead and get this started.
For the YouTube record, I have never said one bad thing about Gordo.
I know.
With Lou, that's you guys trying to put me against him. It's not gonna happen.
Not me.
I know. I'm kidding. I got one last thing for the show. It's off camera. I'm gonna go grab it. I got a limited time jersey for a Chiefs jersey for the conference game. We'll go pick it up.
Nice.
Ooh. Limited time.
Here we go, everybody. It is a nice one for everybody here.
Love it.
Looks pretty good on me too.
Love it.
We're gonna put this up. You guys go ahead.
You have to put it on.
Put it on.
Cool. So we have the Eagles against the Chiefs. Obviously, the big matchup that we're looking forward to. The line keeps flip-flopping right now. I think it's settled on -1.5 for the Eagles. Chiefs are getting the 1.5 here. Let's go ahead and start with Narco. Narco, what are your thoughts about this game? what spread picks do you like for the game, props, and the total?
So obviously, I think it's all dependent on how healthy Mahomes is. And I mean, I don't want to say he looked good in that last game because his mobility was really hampered, but I mean, he played through it. He toughed it out. I don't think he re-aggravated it anywhere in that game, which is a huge, huge plus for him. But I mean, I honestly don't know how they get to this number outside of the fact that maybe Mahomes is still hampered somehow. But like Philly, I understand they've been a good team all year, and they've been probably record-wise the best team all year, right? But I mean, their 2 wins in the playoffs are with big asterisks. Like Giants, like I mentioned, I don't think Giants are a good team at all. Okay, and then they beat the Niners with, without 2 quarterbacks, basically down 4 quarterbacks. I mean, they kind of got lucky, to be honest. I don't want to say lucky because they've been a great team, but they've been fortunate in the playoffs, put it that way. On the other side, Kansas City is, to me, has beat probably the hottest team outside of the Niners, which is Cincinnati, who I honestly thought was going to get to the Super Bowl. I had Cincy getting to the Super Bowl. Their experienced team, they were there last year. They were really hot, very good offense, opportunistic, decent defense. So I was kind of surprised that, the Chiefs did beat them, even though Mahomes was that hampered. So I honestly like the Chiefs here, man. Plus 1.5. I think they should be the rightful favorite here. And I'm just going on the fact that Mahomes is healthy. He's probably not going to be 100%. I'll say that right now. Like if it is a high ankle sprain, like they said it was, it's almost impossible to be 100% after 3 weeks. That's like a 4 to 6 week injury. So, even Mahomes at like 85, 90% is better than almost all the quarterbacks in the league. So, I like the Chiefs. There is a prop I like. It's kind of a weird prop, but it's 10 plus touchdowns in this game. It's plus 1,200, I believe. Hold on, let me check that.
That's sexy.
Let me check.
We have 10 plus touchdowns in the Super Bowl.
Yep, total touchdowns 10 plus. It's 12 to 1. It really hasn't happened in a long time, but the last time the Eagles played against New England, I think there was 9 in that game.
I think it was 41-35. Yeah, it's got to be close, right?
There was 9 touchdowns in that game.
That's beautiful.
Like both defenses are, I want to say they're decent. I don't think they're that. Like Philly shows that they're a good defense, but they're not going to be able to stop the Chiefs, in my opinion. Like the pass rush is fine and dandy, but Chiefs have this quick passing game. Like they're not. They know what they're going to do, and Reed is just like a mastermind when it comes to game planning, right? So I think 10 plus touchdowns plus 1,200. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. Put it that way. So if I like 10 plus touchdowns, I obviously like the over in this game. So, yeah.
Yeah, and just to touch on a couple of the points, I do think the over in this game as well is something that I'm looking towards, because both of these defenses have shown to be a little bit weaker towards the pass. Going up against the rush, they've both been elite. Now, when you look at the Chiefs, obviously they've been bouncing around that bottom 20 in terms of pass defense. And then the Eagles, they can't seem to guard the big man. And obviously we have one named Chad Kelsey on the Chiefs. So it's going to be a little bit interesting to see who they put on him. But Narco, thank you for sharing what you like. Gordon, floor is yours, my man.
Oh, mine? Oh, this is going to be fun. You know what? Super Bowl for me isn't always about picking a side, but if I'm here doing content, I kind of got to pick a side, and I don't think it'll come to any surprises when I'm wearing that. Gun to my head, I'm taking the Chiefs to win this, and it's tough because this is the same offense that was throwing to Marcus Kemp last week, and it's one that is not one that I think is going to be too good on paper. But when you look at everything, it's just hard for me to get past the prove it situation. I know the Eagles haven't had the opportunity to do so, but they just haven't had the right strength of schedule to be favored in this matchup, in my opinion. And I know the line is flip-flopping. I know there could be a different team favored come game time on Sunday, but I just can't get behind the Eagles at a favorite price tag with that strength of schedule against the dynamic offense that the Chiefs have, right? So to me, the Chiefs, their offense, despite all the injuries, despite all the lack of offensive weapons, really, aside from Kelsey Mahomes, they're still number one. They still have a lot of these great things that they've shown week in, week out. And I do think they're going to win this game. I would love to see offense as well. I don't mind the over there as well. Got into my head, I'm picking the Chiefs, but guys, I'm not going to have too much on the Chiefs. This is for fun. This is for fun. You know, I'm here to talk about Gatorade and national anthem times, right? I'm going to leave all the cool analysis to these good looking people above and below me. But you know what I care about? For instance, I have this great bet. I did all my research for it. It actually has a 50% chance of hitting, and that is the heads bet. 50%, pretty good odds, is a coin flip. But that's what I'm here for in the Super Bowl. A lot of fun things like that. But no, to be completely serious, I am picking the Chiefs. I don't know where this line is going to settle because of, you know, these injuries. Who's going to play? How's Tony going to look? How's Smith-Schuster going to look? It's tough, but it's really hard for me to see the Eagles shutting down Kelsey, shutting down a decent Pacheco-looking run game from the Chiefs as well. So can the Eagles keep up with Mahomes and their offense? That's up for them to find out. And if I get a high-power offense battle, don't mind seeing that either.
Yeah, I tend to agree with a lot of the points, specifically the heads on the coin toss. You know,
I said that one for you.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's definitely a bet.
How much better do you think I feel? How much better do you think I feel now that he's also mentioned Marcus Kemp to you?
Yeah, 100%. Lou's been raving about Marcus Kemp for DFS, and I guess I see now.
200, man, for a huge dude. Gets one catch, he pays you off. It pays it off. So.
Oh, well, it's a Super Bowl, so I will be driving to play my DraftKings lineups. I will be competing against you, Lou. I want you to tell me what contest you're in so I can steal your money. Will I get to Kemp? Maybe. I don't have the same balls that Lou does, and we all know that. And then no one
in a 20 max. He's in one lineup if I do like a 20 max. You know what I mean?
Oh, maybe you're
like Hilaire's in one, Sky Moore's in one. Like you got to play all those bums.
Oh, if we're talking about Hilaire, I'm going to let Evan talk about that. Some insider knowledge. I don't know what this guy's on. I think I'm on something crazy tonight, but this man's got some insider stuff, obviously, if he's taking those bets. But, you know, I'm looking to have some fun. And if you're on Kemp, well, maybe I'll have to do it. And I will confess, guys, I've yet to see your take or the previous NFL Bell, which I know is bad. I will get to it, I promise. So this is all new to me. It's hearing your guys' thoughts about it, but personally myself, I am on the Chiefs.
Gordo, do you like any player props in this game, specifically just for numbers' sake, or whether you think a game script will be favorable to a certain player too?
I am liking the snap count that Pacheco's getting and how dominant he's been able to look. For me, it's hard to trust any of the receivers aside from like any of the wide receivers on the Chiefs because of that. So to me, it's between I'm getting a lot of Pacheco ownership in terms of betting wise, and also looking at some Devontae Smith as well. Two guys who I think have the opportunity to do well, who have holes in the opponent's defense. And maybe that's just because I'm looking at DraftKings as well. But those are two guys I'm looking to target. But I'm still keeping my options open.
Yeah, going to the Devontae Smith shout that you just mentioned. Last week or the week before when we were talking about the Bengals-Chiefs matchup, a guy that came to mind to me was Tyler Boyd, because the Chiefs tend to give up the bulk of their receiving yards to the slot position. And when you're looking at a guy, Devontae Smith, that runs the slot for I want to say 4-5% of the time he's on the field, it's something that catches my eye too. So I'm glad you shouted that out. Gordo, color for the Gatorade. I need to hear it.
Gato is still up in the air because this is something I take seriously. I've gotten it right the past couple of years, and this is what I live for. So maybe just the way I wake up in the morning, maybe it'll tell me. No, I'm just kidding. I have actually gotten pretty lucky, but maybe as yellow is screaming to me, but the line isn't that pretty. I'm thinking about this national anthem, and I think I'm on the popular vote here that it's going over. You know, that country singer holding that final note. I think that's going to go over. What song's Rihanna going to come out to? Who knows? But that's the fun of betting the Super Bowl. All seriousness, though, to answer your question, let's go yellow this year.
I like it. I like it. Gordo, thank you so much for taking the time. I love all the picks.
Hey, I love you guys, and I look forward to talking some UFC tomorrow too, guys. But I am going to run. I'm going to leave some more camera space for these beautiful faces below me. I'm sorry, Evan. High demand, I guess. And, maybe that's what it is. I'm just kidding. Much love to all you guys. You guys have a good one.
Thanks, Gordo.
Thanks, Gordo.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Evan, the man of the hour.
Damn. My boy's leaving me. I'm going to start by saying red. That's the color of the Gatorade, because that's the color of the winning team. The Chiefs are winning this game. And Lou, I think you'll appreciate my analysis on this game. I kept going back and forth on who's going to win. And I was like, all right, maybe I'll just take the Chiefs like in a mini teaser, like just buy them up to like +4.5. Like I like that 3-4 number.
Like same game style.
Yeah, like a mini teaser on the Chiefs and the over. Like buy that down to like 47.5 and the Chiefs up to +4.5. What really sold it on me was your good friend Dumpy said that the Eagles were going to blow out the Chiefs.
Oh, no.
And right when he said I knew the Chiefs were going to keep it close. So that's kind of what sold it on me. Wiz, we talked about that earlier today.
Fuck.
With the Eagles are going. What did he say? 35-17 type of thing.
Yeah, he said it was a 35-17.
Yeah, 35.
Yeah, but he doesn't make bets that don't pay less than like +48.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you said that, because I saw one that he was on today that was only +175. And I was going to say something, but I was at work and I really didn't have the time to go back and forth with him. Yeah, we'll fast forward past that, though. But he was on something that was +175, and I was really impressed with him. So color is red. Chiefs are the winner. It's always the winning team's color, isn't it? Almost always, at least.
No, it's
no.
Sometimes the blue is in there, but I feel like it's relative. Like the Chiefs aren't going to have green Gatorade on their sidelines.
That I agree with.
The Eagles aren't going to have red Gatorade on their sideline. They might have blue. They'll have green and blue type of thing, or yellow and blue. Chiefs are going to have orange and red. They're going to keep it like their neutral type of colors. They're not going enemy territory there. I have a bunch of notes here. So touchdown scorers, I told you guys earlier, CEH is only, I believe, +450 if you straight bet him to score a touchdown. But if you're building a same game parlay on DraftKings, at least about 8 hours ago, this is how it was. He would, what is he, +500 right now? If you build the same game parlay with him, he's +1100 for some reason. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it got updated yet or not, but I built a couple same game parlays. I threw in like a Miles Sanders anytime touchdown with him. I threw in a Travis Kelce anytime touchdown with him, a Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown with him, because I think all three of those are hitting as well. So CEH at +1100, I just feel like is a free booster if they get into that ground and pound. Wow, I'm on UFC, huh? If they get inside like that 5-yard line, 7-yard line type of thing, they're going to run it right up the middle of CEH if he's healthy enough to play. With that being said, he will be in a couple of my lineups for DraftKings because I think between him and Quez Watkins, we can get some very low salaries out of the two of them. And then that leaves an open door for double quarterback. And from there, I'm looking at Travis Kelce. And then I haven't even looked at the salaries yet of what these players are going to cost. But if I can get Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Travis Kelce, and Devontae Smith type of thing, or Dallas Goedert with the Quez Watkins at CEH, I'd be more than happy with running that lineup.
You probably have to captain Goddard if you're going to play it that way, but
I haven't looked at it at all.
He's 6,200.
Devontae is or Goddard?
Or Goddard's 6,400. I'm sorry.
Oh wow. So
he's
Devontae's
the-
probably what, 86?
Yeah, so he's the cheapest of the. So I'm saying if you wanted to run the double quarterback stack, you'd have at worst you'd have to go Goddard captain. But
You know what? I don't know why Gordo's in here still commenting when he said he had to go. But I mean that's cool. So I don't know. We'll get some lineups out there. Lou will be in the messages, running through those lineup ideas, figuring out what we're gonna do there.
You're wearing the Super Bowl shirt, I see.
Yo, I got my Super Bowl shirt from last year's Super Bowl when I was in LA. So I was at the SoFi Stadium over there for the Lions-Rams game last year, and got that Super Bowl shirt. I mean, the Super Bowl's here in Arizona, and I haven't found the Super Bowl shirt for here yet. So I might have to trek down over towards the stadium before Sunday, because come Sunday, I'm staying the hell away from there.
Yeah, they're gonna sell out. That's one thing, and then obviously you don't want to be anywhere near there at that day because it's gonna be packed.
This week,
Packed.
so this week every year is crazy because we have the Waste Management Open. For anyone that follows golf at all, is literally right down the street from where I work.
that's a
So
fun
this
event.
week we're like, no one's coming into the office Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, because between the Super Bowl and Waste Management Open, it's going to take you like 3 times as long to get home.
That's when they encourage the crowds to be assholes. It's great. It's like
Yeah.
it's really fun to watch.
Oh, dude, Wasted Management Open is the best thing in Arizona every year. So
That's awesome.
I'm also going to be looking at Miles Sanders 2+ touchdowns at plus 750. I believe Hertz is plus 700 for 2+, and then Kelsey is plus 475 for 2+ touchdowns. I definitely think that if it's not CEH, if it's not a long touchdown, like a 30-yard touchdown, which I don't think the Chiefs are going to be able to get much of those 30-yard gains, especially in the red zone or close to the red zone. I mean, the Eagles got some of the best corners in the league. So I don't know if they're going to be able to take those deep shots outside, but over the middle, over the top type of thing, Travis Kelsey. I mean, we've seen him with his 6'4", 40 looking ass running up the middle of the field, looking like he's running in slow-mo. But he can break some tackles and he can get in the end zone. He can run some dudes over. He could definitely score 2+. Another one I have on my note sheet is one of your favorites of Boston Scott. Could possibly get a touchdown.
They're not playing the
Giant
Giants.
killer.
They're not playing the Giants. You don't have to bet them here.
He scored against the Niners, didn't he?
Yeah, that was just a surprise. It was a fluke.
That was a fluke because they blew him out.
Because Josh Johnson's as good as any quarterback the Giants have rolled out there the last 5 years. He probably
Because
thought
Christian
it was
McCaffrey took 6 snaps.
And one at quarterback.
Dude, crazy. Couple other player props I like is Pacheco over 45 rushing yards. That's an easy same game parlay piece with a something like Travis Kelsey's 7+ receptions. I feel like that's easy money. Mecole Hardman's inactive for the game, and then Gainwell I have at 2+ receptions as well.
Yeah, a lot of those are viable. I do like the Isaiah Pacheco prop that you shouted out. Because when you think of it this way, they're going to be trying to establish the run game because obviously the Eagles expect them to be passing for the most part, especially against their defense. I'm going to have to lean towards Pacheco for any of the props that are like on the Chiefs side the most. So I love that shout personally. And since you were talking about the Clyde Edwards-Helaire, how the odds, if they still are switching, if that glitch is still there, where it's going from plus 500 for any time touchdown to plus 1,100, I think that's a solid pair for it.
I'm going to check it right now just to be sure. But when I saw that, because I was putting Kelsey in a same game parlay, I was doing his touchdown, anytime touchdown and receptions and Pacheco rushing yards. And I saw that for Clyde, and I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. Like plus 1,100 for their number one running back from last year and who started as their number one this year. Only reason he lost his job is because he got hurt. That just seems like it doesn't make sense because he was just activated on Sunday. So
I tend to agree.
Double checking it right now. Yeah, CEH on a same game parlay is still plus 1,100. So I don't know. That just, to me, I mean, it could also be one of those trap picks. You know, it's like, oh, here's free money plus 1,100, and then he plays one snap just to make him eligible for the game and doesn't score, which we've seen that before too. So could be a trap. I definitely sprinkled on it. Like, put him in 3 same game parlays that are not quite dumpy odds, but towards that, like plus 2,000 type of thing, plus 2,500, and just kind of sprinkled on that. The other one that I like is Mahomes 1+ interception. He is going to be throwing the ball a lot, and he is going to have to force the ball, especially if his ankle isn't at 100%. If his ankle's only at 80%, do I think he can still win this game? Absolutely. But it's going to be a lot harder to get out of the pocket when Hassan Regg's chasing his ass down. And we saw what he did to Brock Purdy. Obviously, Mahomes is a little bit better than Brock Purdy, but at 80% with a bad ankle, might be a little tough for him to scramble out, run around for 25 yards, and find Travis Kelce over the middle of the field. So also puts them in the situation if they're down by 4 towards the end of the game, they have to chuck it up, or end of the first half type of thing where he's forcing it. We can get a cheap 1 interception out of Mahomes at a force it type of situation.
Yeah, especially if the ankle is not 100%. That's obviously gonna favor that interception. That's one thing. He's gonna throw a lot more inaccurate throws because you can't put too much pressure on the ball itself.
Yeah,
it's not a bad look either. I do tend to agree. Interesting. Do you like any of the receiving yards for these players?
I don't trust the Chiefs receivers too much, strictly because you don't know who's going to get the ball. Kadarius Toney, I think a couple weeks ago, had 100+ yards. I think that was the last game of the regular season. He had like 120 yards or something like that. But he should, and I think his over-under is at, 32? And then Marquez Valdes-Scantling is at like 37.5. Why are the Chiefs receivers so low? Is Travis Kelce just going to get 100+ receiving yards and he's just going to do the whole thing on the passing side, and then Pacheco's just going to run the ball? I don't trust the Chiefs receivers one bit. So Travis Kelce is obviously a different breed, and I think if the Chiefs are going to win this game, Travis Kelce is going to need to get like 9+ receptions and probably upwards of like 80-90 yards.
Gotcha. Well, Evan, thank you so much for sharing your picks, because I line up with a lot of what you mentioned and brought up. I'm gonna have to filter through some of them just to make sure I don't over leverage, obviously. But yeah, man, thank you so much for the picks. It's very insightful. Someone who's been watching the show and was like been on the show before, give out picks.
He did a shoey on the show.
Did the shoey on the show too, so that was funny. There you go. Cheers, brother.
Sure.
Cheers.
We get Narco's anytime TDs just for this. I know he said like he's limited. I just want to make sure we get his, because I know Narco's going to cook up Lambo TD here for us.
I actually I haven't bet anything yet for anytime touchdown. I honestly haven't. I'm attacking more of like, I have a lot of like defensive props, stuff like that. I'm attacking more special teams, shit like that. So, if I'm liking 10+ touchdowns, then I have to attack probably unders on like field goals and shit like that. So, that's how I'm going, but I'm probably going to play some of like the one Evan mentioned. Like there's something off there. Like it can't have a first touchdown score at plus. I mean, anytime touchdown score at plus 450, and then give you that same guy at plus 1100 on the same game parlay. So
They don't adjust the same game odds like regularly, like
I
bets
mean,
don't affect that.
just sticking him with anybody like Kelsey anytime touchdown is going to give you like whatever plus 1600, right?
Easy.
So
You can even put him with something like Patrick Mahomes over 199 passing yards.
yeah, anything stupid.
Something cheap.
That's that's safer. Yeah. I mean, but you need him to score, but I'm not sure like how healthy he is or how much he's going to play. Did he play at all in that last game?
No, he just got activated a couple days ago on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
He just got activated off of IR when Mecole Hardman got added to injury reserve. So,
have you read anything about him playing? Just because like McKinnon has been so good out of the backfield, and then Pacheco's actually been playing really well for them. So,
I mean, I've followed so often. I'm on the Chiefs for my DraftKings lineups. So often, it's either the Chiefs or the Bengals every week. You can like Wiz will attest to that. Lou will attest to that. Like I'm always on like T Higgins. I mean, they are too, but T Higgins or Tyler Boyd type of thing. Like always trying to sneak them in there. So I've always gone back and forth.
Excuse me. Say his name correctly. T motherfucking Higgins.
Lou came all the way back just for that. But I've gone back and forth with having Pacheco on my lineup one week and then McKinnon on my lineup the next week. And whichever week I have him, the other one's going off for 3 touchdowns. Same thing with Lou when he takes T motherfucking Higgins. He doesn't put him in his lineup. He goes off for 3 touchdowns. He puts him in his lineup. He gets 1 catch for 7 yards, and then he's injured in the first quarter. So I haven't looked too much into usage plan, and I honestly don't believe in any of that because come game time, you don't know what plays are being called. You don't know what situations are being put in. CEH can be in for 3 plays. He can be in for 30 plays. Realistically, it's all game time. So I don't know. I'm going to have to look into it a little bit more before I sprinkle more onto it. But for now, I've placed most of my bets. Everything that I told you, I have money on right now. I haven't.
It's going to be a situation where, similar to the Boston Scott experiment, in a sense, where they just slot them in randomly for these zone looks or for these like 30 yard out from the end zone. They'll put them in there, try to get him like 5-6 yards down the field. If he keeps getting that success, obviously get the end zone look too. I think just because Edwards-Helaire hasn't been in the lineup for quite some time, it's going to allow Chiefs to utilize him in a way where the Eagles won't probably expect it in a sense because they haven't really seen him that much. So whether they utilize him or not, I think they do. But it's going to be in a creative way, I think. Just so they confuse that Philly defense a little bit. Whether it's like a fake draw play, a fake pass out back, even though he's not the best receiving running back, I think a lot of those plays are viable for Clyde Edwards-Helaire because he was running a lot of trick plays when he was the starter. So I wouldn't be surprised.
The only thing is,
sorry, go ahead, Nargo.
The only thing with him is because I follow football a lot. I know he was losing a ton of snaps prior to getting injured. Like he was falling out of favor with the coaching staff. I'm pretty sure I read an article about him that he was just losing a ton of snaps to Pacheco prior to the injury.
He absolutely was.
And then he got injured. The only thing I will say is because he's been out of football for so long, it's been what? I don't know, a couple of months, 3 months, maybe
3.5
like
months. Yeah.
You also have to put into your mind that do they actually want to give this guy game? He's had so much rust, like not handling the football, right? All that stuff matters because he's never really had like real football contact for a long time. So there might be concerns like, oh, should we actually play this fucking guy and cost us a fumble or something? Because I know this guy did fumble a lot last year. I don't remember this year,
He can
But
fumble.
last year, he fumbled a fucking lot. So I don't know if it's, I hope they play him because this 1,100, I'm just going to stick something in there because thanks for telling me. But I'm just kind of concerned that they might not even fucking get him on the field at all.
So my hope is either they put him on the field for 20 snaps and give him 8 carries, most of them being
not
in
getting 20 snaps. There's no way he's getting 20 snaps.
Yo, if 10 touchdowns are being scored, there's going to be a lot of offensive plays.
Blowout either way is the only game script where he's going to get 20 snaps, I think.
Hey, it can happen. Anyway, he can. So Pacheco took over as the main back, and I think the next game or the second game after that, McKinnon came out and got 3 touchdowns. He had like 140 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns, as Pacheco being the number 1 guy. So it's all situational. I mean, CEH could come in. Travis Kelce could get tackled inside the 5-yard line 4 times. CEH just needs one of those carries. I'm not putting the house on it. I'm not putting the bank on it. I'm not betting my child on it. Like, I'm not doing any of that. I'll put a couple bucks on it, though. At plus 1,100, I'll put a couple bucks on that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong. Like the line is obviously off with the same game parlay. Like when I'm looking at it now, I didn't even know this. Like, holy shit, the last 2 games, he had 0 fucking carries and 2 carries. Oof. They really hated him.
Well, I think the one game he only played 2 plays. Like it wasn't like they'll just give him the whole game log for that.
No,
play.
he had in that one game. That's what I looked at. No, he had more snap. He had only he had no carries, but he had 2 targets in that game. So I don't know what the fuck happened, but I'm pretty sure they fell out of favor with him at some point in the year. But maybe, if they're activating him, that's the other thing you have to think about. Like, why are they activating him now? Like, why would you activate a player this late in the year after injury if you're not going to use him?
They're not activating him to sit him on the bench.
Maybe he's
that's the only thing you have to think about too.
It wouldn't make sense because their wide receivers are injured. If they're not going to use them, they're getting a wide receiver to fill that 53rd spot, not a number 3, not their 3rd running back.
Is he officially like activated for the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
he's active and on the active roster for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so see, that's the thing. Like, you have to also think about, like, why would they activate this guy if they're not going to use him?
He's going to be dressed. He's going to have a helmet in his hand.
It's a lot
something
of
to look at. Like, I'm not saying this is your number 1 bet to look at for the game. This is going to be like all right, I kind of like this. It's easy. Like, it's good odds for what it's at. It's worth a shot, but that's not going to be the foundation of all of my same game parlays. I promise you that.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and bring in a friend of Lou's, and I'm going to let Lou introduce him. Patty, how you doing? I always see you in the chat here.
Look at this goddamn outfit.
I'm not quite sure. It's a lot of Kansas City slobber knocking going on here. I'm not sure how many cocks you guys are taking in your mouth.
Hey, Narco, you'll appreciate this since you and I are used to dealing with the younger generation on this. Pat and I graduated college together when the first number of the year was a 1.
Yeah, none of the rest can say that in this room here.
After 99.
It's a nice way of saying we're old as shit.
Patty, welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks for having me, guys. Interesting. I've been following you guys, and I'll tell you what, Wiz and Lou have been treating me very well this year. And so Lou said, "Hey, you want to jump on?" I said, "Sure. Why not?" I mean, there's way too much. I mean, there's just way too much Chief love here. So you need to have some sort of heel in this equation. So, yeah. So I mean, this kind of picking up. I mean, just jumping in where you were talking about. Well, Edwards-Helaire. You're right. I mean, the reality is he hasn't played since week 11. So, like 3 months later, and it's really an interesting activation as it relates to the Super Bowl and being such a big part. But I have those same concerns. But who cares? 1,000 plus 1,000, plus 1,100. Why not? And actually, FanDuel has, if you do a combo with the Chiefs win, which it seems like there's a lot of heavy people picking, it's like plus 15, plus 1,600. So not worth not to take a flyer on. So, as you can figure, taking a side on this one, fellas.
You could tell by your beanie.
Pretty easy, right? But listen, I'm not one of those that are saying it's going to be a blowout. Not at all. This is going to be a very tight game. Mahomes showed no real major effects here and there of the high ankle sprain, so I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this weekend pans out. Birds at minus, still -1.5, and the over. I like the over as well in this game. Defenses are, I would say, not. While the Birds have a ton of, third most sacks by a team in a season, we all kind of put it contextually, right? So Super Bowl, Pat Mahomes, that Andy Reid offense, getting the ball out quick. You've got the Kelsey factor. I still like points in this game, but I like Birds -1.5 and the over. So that's my side if you're asking for one. Let me see what else we got here. I know you guys love props. Lou and I talk about crazy props all the time. Not jumping too far ahead, but one that I thought was interesting is Sky Moore. You guys are talking about, Edwards-Helaire as a really, X factor, right? And if you're going to take a flyer on someone to be an anytime touchdown guy, I think Sky Moore, looking at too, like, he's going to be more of a game plan somehow in some capacity this week. He's very talented, young receiver, kind of flies under the radar. Basically came up out of necessity. I think I've seen him at plus 950. Is that about right for him as a touchdown scorer? Sky Moore?
That sounds about right. I remember seeing him around that plus 900 to plus 950.
Yeah. So, I think if you're looking, again, we're going to touchdown props, I'd say he's in that same realm to look at just for value. And also you look at where Eagles are kind of prone, tight ends for sure. So you're going to have to figure out something for Kelsey. Yes, they've got very good DBs, but there's always that possibility. And my biggest concern this whole game is the is Mahomes, and not so much the plays that they're calling, but that the plays that Pat Mahomes creates, right, and his abilities. And that's where I think really that, in my view, with the Chiefs winning this game, it's going to be based on him making plays, whether it's, crazy improvisation or, I think he is on his way back in recovery. But that's where you look at opportunities where kind of the unheralded people kind of opportunities to cut in the spotlight. A couple more I like, and it's exceptionally kitschy. The double tight end touchdown, Kelsey and Goddard. It's very possible, very probable. Look at Kelsey and Goddard as far as those guys both scored. Decent value at over plus 400. But I would say the big flyer as far as touchdowns go. We'll say a parlay with touchdown is I call it the Gainwell triple overs. Over rushing, which again, these numbers are very low. And again, he's, Miles Sanders is the focal point, but Gainwell's a change of back. And you've seen over and over and over again this year when he has opportunities, he's going to perform. So over rushing yards, over receiving yards, over receptions, and get you about plus 300. If you throw in any time on top of that, you're over 1,000. So I like the Gainwell triple plus a touchdown as another flyer. And that's, again, we're hunting for props here, right? So as far as touchdowns, the other two, I agree with you guys. I think Hurts and Sanders are two good value picks as far as additional 2+ TDs in this game. So
awesome. Yeah. And before I ask you about your coin toss pick, the Gatorade pick, I know my Narco has to get going. He did mention it.
Oh, go. Sorry.
Narco, thank you so much for being on. Thank you for taking the time. I'm sure all these picks are going to go to good use. So thank you so much, my man.
In my humble opinion, the best MMA capper in the space. In my humble opinion. My dude.
I'm not the best, but thank you very much, Lou. I appreciate you. Thank you, Wiz. Thank you, everybody. See you guys, I guess, on my Lambeau Place podcast. Maybe on Friday.
You know it. No, I'm gonna-
All right.
we're gonna need that. We are gonna need the help this week. We are gonna
Yes.
need the help.
We have some really good ones this week. I already have them.
I hope
Obviously, the props are not all out yet, but I love some. I can't believe some of these lines, dude.
I hope Prado round 1 KO is one of them.
No,
Boo.
no, there's some. Honestly, there's some lines that are so damn off, according to
Man.
Bet Online. So I just wait usually for FanDuel because they're the biggest fuck ups when it comes to props. So I don't try to put it anywhere because I know people are gonna nuke it, and so I just don't say anything. But you guys you'll see it on my. I'll put it on my Bet MMA when I put it in. But
I'll be
100%.
watching.
Let the people know where they could find you and what you have going on too, just so they can go ahead and give you a follow, hit your subscribe button.
yeah, they could just find me Narco Cop MMA on YouTube. Do a show every Friday for UFC, and on Twitter, Narco Cop. That's it.
If you guys don't know, Narco does a show called Lambo Plays, where he finds some of the most mispriced lines when it comes to props, when it comes to UFC. And the hit rate on some of his stuff is just ridiculous. So the man deserves a follow. He's one of the best in the business. If you're not following him already, which I'll be surprised if you're not, go ahead and do that. You'll thank yourself later.
It's the best MMA prop show, and I run a prop show, and it's the best MMA prop show. So there you go.
But there's no yam bags on my shows. That's
No, mine is
Your
way
show-
funnier. There's no doubt. Mine is way funnier. But yours is the best, dude.
Awesome.
Take
Thank you,
Take care,
Narco.
guys.
Friday, thanks,
have
dude.
a great night and good luck this weekend.
You too, man.
Take care.
Nice talking with you, Narco.
Can I come now? I know it's Pat's turn, and I need my boy to tell you the plus 15,000 prop. But I told him if he does it, how it's gonna fail. But it's such a great prop. Pat, you want to tell the people?
The brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a prop on FanDuel, and I'm sure other lines about the double Kelsey brothers each scoring a touchdown. And I just said that's the dumbest fucking thing. That's the biggest I always say sucker bet in the world. And I love sucker bets because I do them all the time.
Send it to Dumpy.
It's terrible. It's terrible. And it's like, hey, and I'm just thinking about it. Like I'm trying to rationalize to do it. And I was saying to Lou the other day, I said, I maybe you do some crazy formation, but
The fridge
He's
play,
center.
the refrigerator parry play.
but it's almost got to snap the ball, man. Like I still go back to it. Like he's the center. Like if he was a guard, okay, I could possibly see that being like reasonable. But that's a crazy one.
I told him if he makes this bet, Jason Kelsey's gonna score on some trick
And then-
play, and then
yes.
Travis Kelsey won't score, and you'll
Won't
fucking
score.
hate your life. That's how you lost the 15,000.
Exactly. Oh man, it's wild, and that was some other ones. Like I did, of course, took the other ones with any non-quarterback throwing a receiving touchdown, any quarterback catching a receiving touchdown. They're all well north, I believe, well north of 15,000. I'll tell you in a second. And then the final one would be like any offensive lineman catching a receiving touchdown. So FanDuel did a good job of really like being specific with what it was, so there isn't any real gray area with it. Not that I only use full FanDuel, not because they do anything for me. I'm just saying like just from my limited knowledge here as a neophyte in this space compared to the Titans that I'm sharing this show with. For sure.
You've been on the internet one less time than Evan, just so you know. Evan's just a natural. He's just a natural at 2 appearances.
There you go. It is, Dan. You gotta have it.
Now, Patty, what's your pick for the coin toss, and what's your pick for the Gatorade? Because the people must know. We must know.
I've got a coin toss, and I have a little interesting tidbit, and I may be slightly off this, but I think it's pretty interesting. So tails never fails. Right there's mushroom. There we go. No Philly.
Mushroom.
Mushroom, yeah.
The Philly pull is strong in this piece.
Listen, tails never fails, but interesting fact to it: the team that's won the coin toss the last, I believe, 8 Super Bowls have lost the game. So whoever loses, this is what I'm definitely doing. whoever loses the coin toss, I'm jumping heavy on in-game on.
No,
And
you're
see
not.
if
No,
the
you're
ship.
not, dude.
Yes, I am.
I love it. I love it.
Why?
So
I don't care.
so the Eagles win the toss. You're going to bet the Chiefs.
I can't. No, I can't.
I think
You want to say I kind of have to.
I mean, like, it wasn't me, but if I was like me, if I looked like had an outer body experience, and it was somebody else, then I would say it's probably a good move. But for me, no, I can't do it. But anyway, it's an interesting trend. And then Gatorade, oof. I mean, listen, the easy pick is always. I think blue is like the. I think the kids nowadays they dig the blue. Well, I got a kid. His favorite Gatorade's blue, so I'm gonna go blue.
What do you think about red Gatorade? You like red Gatorade?
Love red Gatorade. I mean, that was my favorite until blue came out.
How about
Do you
red
think-
Gatorade if the Chiefs win?
Do you think the
Favorite until
Eagles
beer.
would have red
Favorite until
Gatorade on
beer.
their sidelines?
I think they'll. I don't think. Sirianni. I don't. That's a good question. I don't think they're that. I think they will. I don't think they give a shit. I think just like people like and they're just gonna do it. And it's a players like you gotta remember, guys. Like I drank a blue Gatorade when I was playing in college before every game. I had the same trainer tape my ankles. We're not football players are not as bad as baseball players as far as being superstitious.
Yo, easy.
It's true.
Easy.
It's true.
Buddy.
Baseball players are very superstitious. Listen, I see it. My son's playing. They at a little age, they get crazy. But it's still the same thing. So they're not going to do if these guys like red. If the Eagles like red Gatorade, they're not going to deviate from it. I think there's no change. I get your point. Chiefs red, I get it, but I don't think we're there yet. And just to kind of wrap up on my side, a couple more things I want to throw out for you. The MVPs. I don't think we talk about MVP picks at all. No value there.
No, nobody had the balls yet.
Yeah, nobody had the balls yet.
Dude, listen, I have no credibility. So what I'm saying here, just
He has more credibility than me, which means he has no credibility.
It's true. It's kind of like net positive somehow.
Wait, can I jump on it before you? Because
Go, please.
I don't.
If you had some, because you were. Yeah, please go. What do you got?
I don't want to be called a bandwagon because I think I know who you're going with. And honestly, if the Eagles win, Miles Sanders is taking MVP.
And he was actually the last guy that I jumped on for.
Oh, can I? If you fuck up, can I raise?
Yes, of course you can.
Let's see it. Who do you think?
So when I first saw, listen, I don't look at like the typical ones, right? So I'm just saying, what's a crazy number that, but actually has a possibility. And I looked at a defensive player, and what's interesting is that those odds from when I took him on 2 Sundays ago. I went Hassan Reddick. Again, as a flyer, right? As a high value at plus 5,000. Now, where's he at now live? Currently. Where's my MVP? MVP. Come on. Sorry, guys. He's like 20. I believe it's down to 2,500. Does that sound right? They pulled all the MVPs off? It went down significantly. I'm safe to say that. So you can see I didn't prepare properly. I'm surprised Lou's not yelling at me for not having my notes tightened up.
No, and DraftKings has you have to hit 9,000 buttons just to get to the one prop. But I also like Hassan Reddick, and yeah, that's I like that too. But he would need it has to be
game.
No, but also you're looking at a 21-7 game. He probably needs 3 sacks and a scoop and score. There's a very specific game script that needs to happen.
Yes.
And the last guy that did it was Von Miller, and that was that game was 2-0. The Carolina Denver game was overtime, and that was a horrible game. I'm surprised they didn't give Peyton Manning the lifetime fucking achievement award in that game just for being on the field.
Showing up. I mean, the biggest thing though I look at too is the Pat Mahomes health matter, the health concern. If that wasn't there, if that injury wasn't there, it would be a whole different landscape. So, I mean, that opens the door for the realm of possibility. It opens the door a little bit wider.
What did Hank say the other day? How big's the needle? We were talking about this Sunday. How big's the needle that's going to be shot in a Mahomes ankle? It's going to be 8 inches. Just something
something like this.
He's going to be feeling good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's going to need that.
Yeah.
After a couple of snaps, he's going to get hit so much, I think, in this game.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing, and that's just kind of wrap up. Like, why too? I'm on the Birds. I mean, I think the Eagles have an advantage on both sides of the offensive, both the offensive and defensive lines. I think the Eagles are, they may not have the best defensive linemen. I think that definitely goes to Kansas City, right? I think their best defensive line, but I think the drop off between the Eagles' best, their ones and their twos, there isn't too much. It's a pretty even level, and you've got a very good rotation there. The Chiefs on their offensive line also says in the interior offensive line, center, two guards, I think are underrated. Tackles are suspect, would say, and with the Eagles' strength being, I'd say, more on the edge rushers, I think that really becomes the differential. And then ultimately, the Eagles' offensive line, if they decide to run the ball. I didn't even look at all the rushing totals outside of the Gainwell triples, which is just trying to stab something there with a big number. I still think you're going to see, if the Eagles stick to script and run the ball, you're going to see a lot. That's going to be the game plan, and then we're looking to open up over the top and expose those young defensive backs with Devontae Smith and Brown. They got to pick one to double up on, or Goddard seam. So
What about T.
that's
Higgins?
apparently we couldn't bet on this week, which I thought was bullshit.
Horse shit.
Rob was despondent. I believe it was on Sunday when he realized
It's Lou.
I don't know, Lou. Who's that? So, anyway, he was despondent regardless because you can bet on T. Higgins. Rob got him. So, and then one last one before we jump. I'm actually very surprised at the overtime number.
What is it?
It's only plus 1,000.
Oh, that's low.
It is low, which I thought was really interesting. That was my last little takeaway here. Just looking at it, it's typically plus 13, 14, 15, 1,600, for a typical NFL game. To be a plus 1,000, I found really interesting. So I don't know what it means. It's just something that stood out to me. And
the script got leaked.
Yeah, the script. Yeah.
Did you guys see the score? The 34-37 or whatever it was. The script got leaked to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we have to bet it either way.
I don't.
I
already have an exact score in my head for the game, and when we get to my props later, you'll see where I'm going with it. But
does it sound like 24-27?
It sounds like that. It's not 2-0. I'll tell you that much.
It's not Hassan Reddick for a safety.
It's not 4-2. You can bet every game at 100,000, plus 100,000 odds, a standing bet. But yeah.
So that's all I got. And I don't know, what do they say? Will there be nudity? Is that another one out there? Some random prop line.
I haven't seen that
one.
You
want nudity?
No, I'm just saying, will there be? I mean, it's a halftime show. I'm expected at this point.
You want to set a line? Set a line for me.
I think there's usually something for a wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah.
But not necessarily full nudity.
Well, no, that's what that's what we're referencing. Yeah, that's there's got to be
still
something
a children's show.
I know it is, but hopefully my child's still awake, sleep, because it sounds start. Listen, I'll tell you something, guys. You're young. I'll tell you something. Once you get over 55,
I'm not.
Once you're over 55, like Lou, and you're over 40, and you're over 35, like me.
It's right.
He got you, Lou. He got you. You did this to yourself.
He was just so smart in college that they're nah, he was he was 10 and I was 38. And he was still somehow twice the size of me.
I'm no Doogie. I'm no Doogie. I was no Doogie Howser, that's for sure.
Right.
Yeah, you're not fooling anyone. I know you graduated college before Y2K was a thing, so
barely snuck in before the whole world did.
That's when men were men and sheep were scared.
Got that right.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for your picks.
Yes.
It's been amazing having you guys on. Obviously, last show of the year. It's it's sad. Kind of gonna miss this show until next season. We have something to look forward to.
Wiz, are you doing basketball? I heard. Is that true?
Yes, but I don't do a basketball show just because it's so time consuming every single day. Yeah, I won't be able to do it. Yeah,
he consults the bones and then wins.
He's been crushing it.
He's like Nostradamus, dude. He stares into like the black obsidian mirror and he's like V's picks, and it's like the money comes out of the mirror.
So I know
Like,
this
you,
is
have, you have to watch the goddamn game at this point. Like there's the money just immediately comes out.
listen, it's a Super Bowl show, it's a football show, but ultimately, so you more just through my own end, are you more NBA or college?
Well,
He's more MMA than anything. Like that's the funny
Yeah.
No, I meant for basketball. I mean, it's just
more NBA, I would say. There's certain college spots that I find every here and there that I would go with, but it's mainly just NBA for me because I know the players on each team, and certain rest spots are different in college rather than in NBA because once you make it pro, a lot of things change.
Well, I always
in
say
college.
NBA is all runs, man. It's a game of runs, so like it don't matter. 20-point leads don't mean anything. So it's always interesting to see how those things. Just like, sure. Halftime down by 20, just hit it.
100%.
This has been Wiz for the last week, right here.
He's on fire. Nice, awesome. Well, I follow him on Twitter, so I'll make sure I keep eyes for it.
I appreciate it, boys.
Wait, are we getting your guys' picks or what?
I'm about to start getting into my picks here. So
Pat's like me. He bets German Bundesliga too. We're betting like Heidenheim and shit. You know,
Bundesliga
like
Zwei, as they say in Germany.
fine.
Zwei with two this way. Yeah, not here. Two.
Evan, I'm ready to cook. That's why I got the outfit on. I'll give you the sausage.
I'm gonna defer. Lou, you go ahead and start us off. You kick us off.
With just the props or just the game stuff?
Do the whole thing, baby. The whole.
Well, I have a feeling we're gonna deadlock the panel. I'm also regretfully on the Birds, and I'm gonna go a little different than all you guys. I'm old school football, and as much as the rules change, it's very simple. The games are won in the trenches. I think KC's O line is okay. I think the Eagles D line is just way better. They're schemed better. The way they're using Reddick is better. And Dominic Sue can come in and play like 1 every 4 downs and just look like a fucking animal. It's unbelievable. And the other side of it, it's not even close. Like I know Chris Jones is playing really well, but look what they did last week against. If anybody's watched this show every week, and Evan, you're kind of the only one, and maybe Pat, but if you've watched the show since we started the show, is every week one of my standing bets has been team total sacks against Cincinnati. Their O-line has been beat the fuck up so much. Lael Collins went out. Can't like that. The whole first quarter of that game was just Kansas City. It's like Tecmo Bowl when you call the play and you get like 30 people rushing the quarterback. That's what every play was against Burrow. He was getting absolutely annihilated back there. That is not going to happen in this game. And if Kansas City does get through, Burrow is like, I know Burrow's young, but Burrow's like a selective runner when he's got time and he sees a lane and he's like, okay, I'll get like 6 yards for a first down. They design plays for Hurts, and they're all delays. I mean, this is going to be Hurts having his way. He could be 75%. It's not going to matter. Kansas City's not going to be able to get to him. He's going to have, and then on top of that, on top of the trench battle, this is one thing that none of you guys brought up yet that I think is so important in this game. Kansas City plays man-to-man like 90% of the downs. They played out of their goddamn minds last week. Their secondary, all their rookies played so well. They didn't play well against Higgins. They played well against Chase. They played well against, like, their secondary played lights out. If you're telling me you're going to go man-to-man against A.J. Brown, who they literally got him for this kind of game, against Devonta Smith in the slot, and I think they're going to line up Goddard in the slot. If he's against any linebacker one-on-one, Goddard's going to have a massive day. We'll get to that later when I get to my props, but I think the Eagles' offense is going to smash. I actually favored the under, which is, I'm not going to bet it because I'm betting touchdown props, and I don't want to, like, pucker my butthole, like, rooting for the under. But the reason I say it is this. If I think the Eagles are going to win, I know Evan's shaking his head, but you like the over because you like Kansas City, which I understand.
I like the over because I want to see scores.
No, I do too. Well, I'm not betting the under. I'm explaining why I would lean there. We've seen the Eagles. Their game script is very simple, and it's not just in the playoffs. Wiz, we were hammering Eagles first half all year, and they're like the best second quarter team in the history of the NFL, easily. And what we see in the second half of games is them take their foot off the gas. They're content to run the ball, screen passes. they're not going for home run shots anymore. If the Eagles get up early, and again, I have other props that are going to correlate to this. The Eagles are not opposed in the whole third quarter of a game, especially because Hurts is not 100%. His ribs are still not healthy. To just kind of go against it, to run Sanders, to get a lot of Gainwell. I don't know if Boston Scott's going to get a lot of the field in this game. I really don't think he will. I don't think he's a good DFS play at all here, to be completely honest. But I think the Eagles can just completely kill the clock in the second half, play like these 7-minute drives for a field goal and be content. I think the Eagles, 27-24 is like the joke score that I think, but I think the Eagles can just completely kill this game off and make it super boring in the second half. I think they're equipped to do it. Sirianni knows how to coach that. If you get, the whole reason that you'd mentioned you like Kansas City is this balance they're showing. They're using Pacheco, who runs like he's the hungriest human being alive that wants a burger. He's murdering fools how hard he runs. But if the Eagles go up 2 scores, they go up 10 points, they get Kansas City out of this, the running attack completely. And Kansas City just becomes predictable. Evan, you mentioned yourself, you don't trust these receivers. I don't either. Kelsey's going to do Kelsey shit because that's just what Kelsey does. You could throw 3 guys on him. It doesn't matter. Kelsey's going to and it's not just to Kelsey. It's Mahomes and him are so locked in on these, as soon as Mahomes starts running out of the pocket, Kelsey's I know the 1 inch of the field I can go to.
Yeah.
And he'll find me with some behind the back.
Yeah.
He'll run around in circles for 5 minutes.
Kelsey's going to eat. And especially the Eagles defense hasn't been great against that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Eagles are going to get a lead. They're going to be able to hold on to it. They're going to play kind of kill clock and they're going to get it done. Is it going to be exciting? If you're an Eagles fan, it's going to be very exciting. You ain't going to fucking give a shit. You're going to be happy you're just winning the Super Bowl. It's not going to be like the Foles Bowl, but I favor the Eagles in this game. I lean under. There's 0 chance I'm betting the under because I'm betting touchdown props, and I'm not rooting for the under. Gun to my head, I'd pick the under. But I like the Eagles, and I like the Eagles to kind of go wire to wire here, and I fucking hate it. And if we're watching the game together, I hate you. I love you, but I hate you, and I'm, not going to be thrilled. I'm just glad your son does not like the Eagles. I'm so glad your son said he's a Raiders fan like Wiz.
No,
so
he's just contrarian. He just likes to get a rise. Listen, he's a little guy. He doesn't know he's still in the team. By the way, so we got real quick. Just to make a point, got a Raiders backpack for Christmas. Everyone gave him shit on the bus about it. He's like, "Hey, Dad, can I get my whole backpack back?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's right. Nice work. That's good parenting right there. Let them know. Let them feel the pain, and then they realize that there are their ways, and then they come back to Papa."
Give him a Lions backpack or a Browns backpack.
No.
Say that because I'm a Lions fan.
No Lions.
That's suffered.
Wait, hold on, Wiz. The Lions. You were big on the Lions.
I love the Lions. I love the Lions.
They made both of us a lot of money this year, dude.
They've gotten me a lot of money. So I love the Lions, but I also hate them.
I love the Lions and Amon-Ra and Jamal Williams, so don't even start with
What was the one game Wiz?
Tough.
I hit a 5-leg round robin. That was the cornhole tournament, Pat.
Oh, high ankle sprain. I had that.
Yeah, he had. Yeah, well, whatever. We're not talking about the results of the tournament, but I went 5 for 5. I went 5 for 5, but one of the bets that day was the Detroit Green Bay under because I'm and everybody's like, "You're crazy." I'm like, "Man, I just don't like Green Bay."
12-9.
Now, I got once Rodgers threw the pick in the end zone to a Hutchinson, I'm like, I won this bet. I'm winning this bet. The bet's over. And what was the final score? 13-9. I was like,
it was 12-9 or 13-9. Yeah,
horrible.
It was that under and the Jets. It was the Jets under with the Buffalo Bills, and it was the Detroit under. And I couldn't believe that the Buffalo under hit because it got so. If you tell me the Buffalo under is going to hit and the Jets won the game, I'm like, okay, I got lucky there. But yeah, I was a smash day, except for cornhole. Did not,
No, not too much.
Lou, what's your point toss?
We were minus 1,500 live, just so you know. We were we were a massive favorite live and fell apart.
We were 10-1.
I don't give a fuck about the coin toss. I'll say heads just to be contrarian. I give no fucks. I'm not betting it. It's negative EV. You're getting -1 unless you're getting even money to bet it. I'm never betting -110 in a goddamn coin toss. Like, why would I do that?
For
And
fun.
for Gatorade, I'm gonna say it's gonna be yellow green, and because you can get it's the same odds. It's yellow green's group, and that's because of the viscosity of how much powder goes in. It could be yellow, it could be green. That's why they group it. Fun fact for all of you: it's literally based on the amount of powder they use.
True.
I noticed that it's been orange every other year, except the last time the Eagles won it, it was yellow green. And I'm leaning birds. But look, Evan, you like orange, I like yellow green. I think if you bet them both, you get about +175. So there you go. That seems like a fine, safe hedge out on a bullshit bet. And then you don't care who wins.
Here's
Then
the
you
thing.
as long as it's not like chartreuse, you're fine.
Here's the thing. I'm such a degen that I will find a way to break even by betting 7 different Gatorade colors just to have a bet out there. I don't care. Like,
Wonderful.
I mean, I'm obviously being facetious. Like, I'm not going to bet on grape. Like, no one wants purple Gatorade. Like, that's trash.
With
Like, it's gonna be the yellow green, or it's gonna be the blue or the red. Those are the 3 options. I'm putting those 3 out there. That's it.
Wiz, do you want to get to your picks or do you want me to hit props? It's up to you.
Hit your props. We'll go 1 and 1. We'll wrap this up. We'll wrap it up soon.
So my favorite bet of the whole Super Bowl, like this is going to be a max bet for me. Not lying, it's +215. Jalen Hurts to throw a first quarter touchdown at +215 odds. He threw 15 this year. He had the best QBR of any quarterback in the first. By the way, 15 first quarter touchdown passes, and he missed a few games. Best QBR, NFL leader first quarter. And this is a game where field goals are not going to cut it. And Sirianni is super aggressive. Like, he went for it on 4th down against the Giants in the first quarter. He went for it on 4th down. The Devontae Smith, I know it wasn't caught, but it was caught against the Niners. Sirianni, like, is aggressive as shit early. If there's a situation like this, they're not kicking a field goal. So I love that. And I don't, as I mentioned with all this man-to-man defense that Kansas City plays, I don't love their defense. I mentioned how the Eagles like to sit in a lead. Well, they're aggressive in the first half. So I love the first quarter touchdown pass from Hurts. Correlated to that, I'm taking both these guys anytime. I'm taking A.J. Brown and Goddard first touchdown. They're +950 and +1200 respectively. I'm fading Devonta Smith. You got to take a stand somewhere. So just bet the house on Devonta Smith scoring like 9 touchdowns. But it's like T. Higgins, where like I've come this far with A.J. Brown. You know, like he can only fuck me one more game. So like I'm riding Brown. I'm riding Goddard. I think Goddard's gonna have a big game. I'm on Brown's over in yardage. I'm scared by the receptions because he could have like 4 catches and 90 yards and hit it. But I'm scared by Goddard's yards, and I like his over 4.5 receptions. It's a little juicy, but I like it. Kelsey over, Kelsey touchdown. I feel like that's fairly obvious. One number that I love that's mispriced, in my opinion, because of his stats, I like the Pat Mahomes anytime touchdown at +450. I know he's compromised his ankle. I know he doesn't run a lot to begin with, but you've seen him in the red zone. If there's a lane, this is a guy who scrambles constantly. If there's a lane and they're on the 5, he's going. So at +450, I love it. Let's get to Kenneth Gainwell, because somebody in chat brought up Gainwell before. I think Gainwell is going to have a pretty big game. He's a great DFS play. He's a cool contrarian captain. I think he's going to get rushing yards. I think he's going to get 20-some receiving yards. I want to tell you this stat right now, which I think is important. The Chiefs have allowed the most receptions, the 4th most receiving yards, and the 7th most receiving touchdowns to running backs this season. They cannot defend running backs. Gainwell has been getting more and more usage. I realize that some of these game scripts have been Eagles being up and playing Gainwell, but Pat and I had an interesting conversation on Sunday with our dude Hank, who's like another big Eagles fan, football fan. But there's an interesting narrative perspective here too. This is it for Sanders. This is almost assuredly his last game with the Eagles. They're not going to sign him to some massive contract. He's going to try to get 25, 30 million on the open market. He's not going to get it. Gainwell is salary controlled by the team for, I think, under 2 years, and they love what they're seeing from him. It would not shock me to see him. He's not going to be the bell cow early because Sanders has his role in this offense, but it wouldn't shock me if Gainwell got a ton of work in the second half of this game, especially if the Eagles have the lead. So his receiving props are low. His rushing props are low. They're both sub 20. I think Gainwell has a massive game. His anytime touchdown, I think, is +3 something or other. It's +320. I think Gainwell gets it. Like, I'm fading Sanders touchdown props. I'm fading Hurts touchdown props, which is risky business. I get it. And I'm fading Smith, but I think Gainwell is going to get a lot of work in the second half.
Lou, if you want Gainwell MVPs, +13,000.
I'm never playing him MVP. I got 3 more quick bets and we're out. I already have a bet on. I know I don't like laying -180. Wiz knows. Wiz takes juice, and I'm like, I don't get out of bed for like less than +500. Hassan Reddick over a quarter sacks at -180. I'm like, I mean, dude, I'll dump the bankroll on that, man. He's gonna. And I know Mahomes is really good at getting rid of the ball, but like, my God, Hassan Reddick is just like, he's a terror, man. Like, he's gonna get something in this game. So if you use him in the same game parlay, you can't do the decimals. You have to do 1 sack. But I don't. Doesn't matter. He's gonna be just in that backfield all fucking day. And then I got one I love that's plus odds, and then one I just want to bring up because I think it's so stupid that I have to bet it as a degenerate. So the one that's big odds is at +450 odds. Any kick in this game, any field goal or extra point to hit the post, +450. I have no rationale. I'm not selling you on like a reason that would happen. I could tell you that Bucker's had kind of an uneven year. But the Eagles don't really kick a lot. Like, they go for it on 4th down, and then they call that bullshit play where like they'll line up after a touchdown and try to draw somebody off sides just so they can get the extra yard, and then they'll just go for 2. So the Eagles, like really, you're kind of almost betting on Bucker to do it here, but like, also with my luck, because I hate the Eagles, I'm gonna be watching it with Pat, that it'll be like 27-24 Eagles, and Kansas City could tie the game with a kick, and Butker will doink it off the post, and I'll be like, fuck! God damn it. The Eagles win, but I got paid off on that +450 prop. The last prop I'm bringing up, which I think is just hilariously stupid, combined jersey number of all TDs is over 170.5. Now, I had to look into the rules with this one. If Kelsey scores twice, you don't win. Like, it's not like 80 + 80. It's unique scorers. And I had to look at, well, you're saying up, but like, look at the guys in the Eagles that score touchdowns, like 9.
No, it's down,
12.
man. If Kelsey scores 2 touchdowns, it only counts as 87. You're screwed.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that it only counts once, not
right. So like, so you would need like here's where, like, if Kelsey scores, if Jason Kelsey scores, now you're like, well, that's what I'm saying is you're gonna probably need a trick play, or you need like
a Bobby Bell type of thing.
Well, but Goddard, or you need like, Goddard. So like, look, I'm just saying, I saw this. I'm never betting it. I just saw it and I'm like, who the fuck came up with this one? I'm no to the scoregami, but I may take a play on the octopus, which Pat and I had talked about like early in the week. I now know what the octopus, what makes it different. I'm glad I looked. Do you know what the octopus is, Wiz?
Dude, the octopus is famous for the Detroit Red Wings.
So an octopus in NFL, because I'm like, this is a made up fucking term. This is so stupid. I thought it was any team just going to score and get a 2. It has to be the same player scoring the touchdown and 2.
Good point.
And it's plus.
Ooh.
That's pretty good.
That's what the octopus is? I was
Yeah.
thinking like an octopus, like at the Red Wings game, they throw an octopus on the ice.
So I would need better than 1,400.
It's up there.
Yeah.
And the scoregami, I mean, if anybody's watching and doesn't know what a scoregami is, I should have bet it on the World Cup because I would have hit it like day 2.
Yeah.
Scoregami is the game will end in a score that's never happened in professional football. Not the Super Bowl, but professional football. So you're looking at like 31-2 or like 74 to, you know, like.
But it's still not that great though, Rob.
It's not great at all.
It's like,
and it's Lou, and it's not that great at all.
Lou, it's 1,800.
I love this.
But like, here's the other thing: if you bet this, then you're watching the game, scrolling through you're looking like every time somebody scores, has this ever been a score? Has this ever been like? So why would you even like want to bet it? Because like in soccer, it's like, oh, this team's up 10-4. I probably won. In the NFL, if it's like if the game's 24-24, you lost the bet. Because like any combination at that point, it's like probably happened. But I just wanted to bring these bets up. Wiz, I yield the floor to the true pro of NBA. Notice I didn't say NFL, but the true pro of NBA. I yield the floor. The guy without the chef hat. Oh, I'm done cooking. I can,
Oh, where's my glasses? It's time.
See, I have hair, Evan. I just don't have a lot of it, but I have hair.
I never said you were bald. I just said
You have gold hair. You have blonde hair.
I don't have gold hair like Wiz.
I'd wear a hat on because my hate got turned off because I lost all my money by taking all the advice on the Daily Wager on ESPN. So,
oh my goodness, they're horrible. All right, we're going birds. So once the Eagles won last week, and once we figured out it was Eagles Chiefs. Wait, let me adjust this. True. There we go. Once you figured out it was Chiefs and Eagles for the Super Bowl matchup, I instantly texted Lou. I'm like, this is going to be an Eagles max bet spot for me. I'm not as confident as a max bet spot anymore, just because given the tender rest, the amount of receivers that have been practicing for the Chiefs, obviously changed the way I'm looking at the game a little bit, but I still like the Eagles here. I'm going to be playing the Eagles probably to win 2 units. Just money line, not the spread. For me, it's a rule, whether basketball or football for the most part. If it's 2 or less, take the money line. If the spread is 2 or less, take the money line no matter what. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to hurt yourself with a hammer hitting your head when you lose by a point on a spread. Like it's going to be horrible. You're going to have the worst feeling in your life. So I'm taking the Eagles money line. That's the first thing for 2 units. And then when it comes to the total, I do favor the over here. I do think a lot of points are scored. I think both of these defenses, yes, they have stepped up when they needed to. But the issue for me is whenever we see a Super Bowl matchup against 2 defensive titans, except for like the Rams-Bucks game that one year where it was just a shit show, you see pretty high-scoring games. And the number is hovering around 51, 51.5. So I like the over here. I do see a game, a possibility where it's like, let's say 27-24, something along those lines. And that will hit the over. It's not out of the picture. That's 3 touchdowns and a couple of field goals. So that's what I think. I think a lot of touchdowns are going to be scored in this game. I think both quarterbacks probably go over 2 passing touchdowns each. If you're looking for props to play, for my Prize Picks players, look for those passing touchdowns for both quarterbacks. Look for the yards. I think there's going to be a lot of big plays here on the Eagles side specifically. Maybe not so much on the Chiefs, because the one thing that we can credit the Eagles defense for being the best at is that corner position. They're able to lock down these receivers. I know last week it wasn't the best showing, but when you have these random guys being slotted in for the Chiefs in the receiver position that they haven't really done tape on, they haven't had a look at, it's a lot tougher for like say the Bengals, who also are not known for their corner play, to lose yardage on those dumb like little throws that Mahomes throws.
Are you mentioning Eli Apple by name? They're not known for their corner play with New York's favorite son, Eli Apple.
I hate that guy. I don't even want to bring him up.
We all hate Eli Apple. Sorry, Wiz, I had to bring
He's
him up.
absolute garbage. No, don't even worry about it. So I think the over hits here. I do like the passing yards and the passing touchdowns for both quarterbacks. My favorite prop on the board personally is going to be Jalen Hurts rushing yards. The way the Chiefs attack the pass rush is not as aggressive as the teams that Mahomes had to go against, like the Niners, where they're hitting them diagonally. I know we did say that Hurts would hit his rushing yards last game, just shy of it. And he didn't rush all that often, so kind of took things away. And the game was pretty much over once both those quarterbacks went out. It's like, who's going to play? So they just let the foot off the gas completely. The one thing that we've compared the Chiefs to in a certain situation a lot, to the Titans. We've compared their corner position play to the Titans. Why I say that? The Chiefs allow big yard plays, big chunk yard plays. And who's the guy that the Eagles target the most in that situation?
It better
it's
be.
A.J. Brown.
It better be.
It's A.J. Brown.
Be. I'm tired of losing with this guy. He's got one more game to no-lube me.
Quez
Yeah,
Watkins.
I think this is the game.
Oliver Quez Watkins.
Quez Watkins. Hey, Quez Watkins actually does get it, but the bulk of it is going to be
Wiz, you know, one of the 5 most bet props so far is the under 1.5 receptions for Quez Watkins. It's one of the 5 heaviest bet props so far at this point.
I'm very, very intrigued. I like playing
because he's gotten no share since Goddard came back. He's gotten like no target share.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, I guess. But yeah, I like the AJ Brown yards over here. I like the Devontae Smith yards for the reason that I mentioned earlier on the show when Narco was in, where the Chiefs allow, I think it was somewhere around like top 5 in yards allowed to the slot position. And when Devontae Smith lines up in the slot, he's getting the ball for the most part. When he goes out wide, it's a toss-up. He's like 60-40 to AJ Brown. But when he's in the slot, he gets the ball. And if his yards are hovering around like 36 to 46 in that range, I know it's a 10-yard margin. It's kind of a big number there. I still like the over. So Devontae Smith yards, AJ Brown yards. I'm not really liking Goddard in this matchup specifically, but yeah, I mean the Super Bowl brings out a lot of weird matchups here. Second favorite prop is going to be the Isaiah Pacheco rushing yards. I know the Eagles have really good rush defense, but when you're giving a guy the ball that much, he's going to get chunk yards, and he's a hard runner. So he'll get 5-6 yards carry when he's really running hot. He should soar over his over in this matchup. I think the Chiefs are going to have to lean on him a little bit, especially with these receivers banged up. If they get banged up again, which is very possible, I would not be surprised if if Isaiah Pacheco gets a lion's share of the rushes here, and they do play a rush heavy game plan until they find the big hole in the defense and execute there and get the long pass. Those are my favorite props on the game. Let's get to the fun stuff.
Yeah, we want a ridiculous one. We want some ridiculous props, dude.
Well, I mean, it's not going to be ridiculous, but it's stuff we talked about.
Give me plus 1,000 or better, you son of a bitch.
Sorry, don't do that. Coin toss is going to be heads. That's what it is. Last year, fun fact, I bet $50 on the coin toss to be heads. It hit. I turned that 0.5 unit to 3.5 units betting on random shit throughout the game. Next drive, no score. Next drive, scored. Whatever it is. 3 and out. So you start your day off with the heads for half a unit. And then you roll it over to on the first drive, there's no touchdown, no score first drive. It's only fair. There you go. Now you have a unit to mess with. You just double up that way. You look at how the game's going, and you mess with it. Now, when it comes to the Gatorade, since I'm favoring the Eagles, I have to go with Lou's pick here. I'm tailing him here. The lemon lime Gatorade.
I'm not betting it. You're not tailing me. This is your pick.
All right, then I'm betting it.
I'm not betting it. And now that it's your pick, it's like 100% it's gonna fucking hit. So it's ridiculous.
Lou, just don't bet it so it hits.
I'm not betting it. I'm not betting it. Can I in game?
Yes, it has to be
hold on. Can we live bet it? Because like the Eagles in the lead, I'd be like, I mean, that's like a
Actually-
live bet for me.
Some people actually can live bet on certain websites. I know my offshore will let me bet it. He did let me bet it last year. So yeah, I think the lemon lime Gatorade is the way to go. Lemon lime and heads. That's
And
what
it's
you guys
delicious.
do.
And it's delicious.
Oh, and the over for the national anthem. It better be the over. It's a country singer. The first song Rihanna plays is gonna be Unfaithful. She's got to go with the oldie.
Umbrella.
I was gonna go Umbrella. Yeah.
It has to
Umbrella.
be Unfaithful. It's my brother's high school breakup song. She better play Unfaithful as the first
I would
song.
say Umbrella because it's the only song I know.
Come out high energy.
All right, I'm getting insider information that Rihanna has to play an upper song. Unfaithful is a downer song. You
Yeah.
can't play that as the
There we
opening.
go.
What are the odds she does a
still
Journey
playing it.
cover?
She does
Huh?
what?
A Journey cover.
Oh my god!
Like separate. Like, will she do
LeBron
separate
James
ways?
has just broken the scoring record all time in the NBA.
You did?
Congratulations. Maybe he
Oh.
now he can just go back to his usual job, being an
Okay.
asshole on social media.
Yeah, who cares? Next.
That's all I have in terms of my picks. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. I'm really looking forward to it. And depending on how the UFC goes, we'll see if I throw out a little more fun money here and there. But UFC should treat me right.
Hey, just for those keeping score, it's a great point about LeBron breaking a record. I'm going to definitely jump on OKC to win the game, even though they're up by 5. So that actually makes sense. LeBron breaks a record, scores the points, and his team loses. So
You just got it. Yeah.
The
I love
that,
sports
right?
books just won a lot of money. I'll say that
nice.
because I know this is going off topic, but everyone expected LeBron to break it next game against the
Yeah.
Bucks, against Kareem's old
Yeah.
team. And he hasn't hit 36 points since AD returned. So
That was also a huge
Oh.
game scheduled for the Bucks on what is that?
Friday.
Thursday?
Friday.
Thursday on TNT against the
Well, I mean,
Bucks.
this one's on TNT.
This is too, but still, Giannis.
Fadeaway jumper.
I'm gonna have to move over one room to.
Not sure what any of this has to do with Manchester United, but
What?
not sure what any of this has to do with Manchester United.
But boys, do you have any final bets, final comments, or final shouts that you want to give out on the show before we wrap this thing up?
Let those two do it, then you and I should wrap this up because it's
Of course.
it's the end of our
Proper
season.
way.
Yeah, of course. Evan, floor is yours, my man.
Yeah, you guys know I have nothing going on. I'm not on YouTube. I'm not a Twitter capper. I'm just here to talk and have some fun, talk about football.
Evan, I'll do something for you since our last show. Keep talking. I'll do something.
Let's see the shoey, baby.
How about this? Just keep talking.
All right,
And
sorry.
don't ruin it.
For once, I look to my left and I don't see a bottle of whiskey. I'm kind of disappointed.
I got one right here for you, baby.
Wow.
Here you go.
I have vodka downstairs, tequila. I'm like, no, I don't drink any of that anymore. It's just whiskey.
I'm just grateful. Like, this is fun. I love it. I've been watching Wiz and Lou all year. We started doing fantasy football this year, so I got to know these guys. And a few weeks ago, I got on the show, and now this is my second show this year. And I have a feeling next year you're gonna see a little bit more of me. Maybe not much more of me. Maybe like 3 shows next year. Or 4
I hope
shows.
so. Evan's great, dude. I hope so.
100%. 100%, dude. We'll have you on a lot.
Evan's my dude.
Set the line. Over under how many shows?
Over under how many shows next year? I'm gonna say 4.5 should be the line next year because we started late. We started late talking about it this year. I think I made my first comment about it like week 9, week 10 type of thing. Where I was like, all right, time to have me and Gordo on the show.
That's like how many shows I have tomorrow, dude. Like it's fucking hot. It's fucked up.
My first show, my last show, my only show before this one with Lou was, what did he have, like 5 live streams that day? And by that time he was just gone. It was a long day for you, Lou.
Yeah,
But what did we do to end the night?
I don't know. Here, I'll how about Pat tells the people where to find them? It's probably gonna be with
Please.
me.
You can find me hiding from responsibilities.
At
as
the
much as
crick?
possible.
At the crick?
At the crick some days. And then sometimes it's just hiding out. It's trying to stay off the radar. But, it's over now.
Anybody that watches the Friday show, the flagship, the mothership of the MMA engine, a lot of the reasons I'm the way I am is partially due to Pat.
It's Friday happy hour. It's a happy hour you have with Monk, so you should be happy.
Before we kick you guys off,
thanks, guys.
Before we kick you off, I'm gonna celebrate you too.
Are we going to Shoey? Oh.
I don't have any beer. I do have vodka.
Well,
So we're gonna do. I can't imagine a mango pineapple vodka shoey is.
Oh, you're a madman.
Common.
Yo, don't do it.
at least your shoes gonna be clean.
It is gonna be clean.
Yo,
And
he
I
only has 2 pairs of shoes.
And
bro.
shit, I went to court 2 days ago. So
Hey, man.
All that sweat.
that's all right. That's like 2.5 shots.
That's reasonable.
Uno, dos, tres. Oh my god.
It's got to be an interesting combination.
I swear, one of these days I'm just gonna come to Philly for literally 2 days. We're gonna go to the bar. We're gonna get absolutely destroyed, and we'll watch some UFC, and then I'll be on my merry way on a Sunday. I already have this planned out. Maybe spring break, end of March. Who knows?
Wiz, you better fly to Arizona and pick my ass up because I'm coming with you.
You know what? I might be in Arizona in a week or two. Who knows?
Oh, that was
Why am I just not
unpleasant.
hearing
I might
about
be
it?
in Scottsdale. It's close.
Right down the street. Hit me up.
You
We'd
two
be
did
going to
great.
downtown Scottsdale.
You guys did, Pat and Evan. You guys did great, dude.
Yeah,
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
Really
Now
appreciate
time-
you.
Now it's time to go.
Evan, nice to meet you. Finally. Love your comments.
Nice meeting you, Pat.
Keep us and lose balls. Thanks, Wiz. Give it the good
Every
luck.
day.
Thank
Good
you,
luck,
man.
everybody,
Thank
this
you.
weekend. Get after it.
Good luck, guys.
Well, Wiz, we did it. We made it to the end of the season.
What
How do you
can we
feel?
say here?
I would like to
it's
personally
been an
say,
amazing season.
I would like to say personally, I mean, for everybody watching, you are one of my favorite people in the community. You and I workshop a lot of shit off air. We talk all the time. Like, love working
Every
with you.
single day.
Like, I love work. Yeah, I mean, like, I love working with you. Like, I think we do our best for the people. You know, like, it's so I joke with like Brady all the time. Brady's like, you're like such a night and day handicapper. Like NFL, like MMA, I'm just like logic and no stats. And then like on our show, I always, no matter how much I've been drinking, like I always bring the stats. I bring matchups. Like obviously I've been an NFL fan my whole life. Like I love that we're doing this. Next year we'll revamp, we'll make the graphics. Like we're gonna have a great show.
Oh, yeah.
And you're just getting your feet wet on YouTube still, too. I mean, like, you know,
We're still,
are.
I think, about to hit
No, I mean, like,
150 subscribers.
I mean, you're still like by this time next year, you're going to be monetized. Like, you're still growing the channel. Like, you're still getting your feet wet. Like, that's not an insult. Like, I mean, you're still like the channel is just developing. Like, look, man, I'm hooked up with like 3 studs in the industry. Like, we're monetized. We're going to get you there. We're getting Pat. Like Addicted to Combat, Pat, you know, who is not related to, who, by the way, is not related to my friend Pat, if you didn't know. We're gonna get him monetized. Like, hey man, like, and tomorrow's a big step for monetization. And can we talk about why? By the way, who suggested we do the show? Who suggested it? I didn't suggest my channel. I suggested yours.
You did.
Can we
did.
tell the people what we're doing tomorrow?
So, if you guys aren't familiar with the 4 Horsemen, way back, a couple of almost half a year ago, I want to say, the 4 Horsemen originated on Liam Picks Fights channel. Liam told me that he wanted me to help him with a breakdown.
I don't even know how I'm involved.
It was going to be.
That's the funny thing. Like,
Well, I'll get into it. It's right here. He told me he wanted me on for a breakdown. And there's going to be 2 fine gentlemen on there that I haven't met before. One being Mr. Gordo Gambles, Playing Fate Sports, who was on the show earlier today. And I was introduced to this madman named LouBetya, and I didn't know what to expect, but I was like, all right, I've never done a panel. I've never talked fights with more than one person, so why not? Let's do this thing. And we took the internet like a sensation, like a blaze. We set the internet on fire, and we did this almost every week. Really fun. We haven't done it in about, I want to say 2 months, 3 months. I want to say, right, Lou?
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So we're bringing
We're relying on Liam. We're relying on Liam's schedule, which is like a crapshoot, man. Like
love Liam. That dude is fucking hilarious.
Genius is not on a timetable. Like Liam's a genius. He's just on his own goddamn. It's like, hey guys, you want to go live at midnight? Hey, you ready at 3?
But yeah, we're bringing
But he's
the
the best.
back.
But he's one of the best, man.
Oh, 100%. 100%. You guys all are. There's a reason why the community is what it is, and it's because of all the good guys in there, like you, like yourself, Gordo, Liam, my guy Clint. I mean, Dan Levy.
I'll take that compliment. Nice. I won't. No, I'm saying I won't take like great capper, but I'll take nice and helpful. Like that. I take pride in that. I take pride in nice and helpful. I don't take pride in great capper. I take pride in being a good dude. That I take pride in.
That's one thing that you definitely are.
That's all that matters. I mean, like, I don't give a shit about the rest of it. So tell the people, 4:30.
Yes, sir. 4:30.
We ride.
Tomorrow.
The horsemen ride. Shitty card betting wise, in my opinion. But guess what, guys? That's why we're here. To make it, to convert
easier.
A shitty betting card into how do you make money off it.
So yeah, we'll be live tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern with Lou, with Gordo, with Liam Picks Fights for the return of the Horsemen. Long overdue, I should say.
Very excited.
I'm super excited. I'm leaving class. I'm like, I don't need this. I'm here to make some card earned cash, and then I'll get into some NBA.
I gotta do some, and I'll get into some soccer.
Oh, 100%.
I already refined. I'm only doing 4 picks this weekend. You want to know what they are? So you haven't bet in soccer, but I have it written down. I'm only doing 4 picks. If you don't want to get fancy, don't get fancy here. Tottenham, both teams to score an over 2.5 against Leicester, -105. If you just want the over 2.5, -135. Won't hate you for saying it. Won't hate you for doing it. I don't like that game. I don't like that. Brighton money line +105. Zaha's out for Palace. Palace stinks, whatever. Wolverhampton +160 on the road at Southampton. Southampton stinks, especially at home. And Dortmund, here's my juicy one. Dortmund team total over 1.5, -180. Can I give you a crazy +310 bet that I love? It's going to sound.
Is it a draw? Because I love draw bets.
It is in fact a draw.
Oh, I love it.
And it's Newcastle at Bournemouth, and Newcastle has 10 draws this year, and more importantly, the last 3 games they've played in that late slot have been draws where they were favorites. Bournemouth would suck a cock for a draw right now to try to get out of the relegation zone. I feel like it's like I may even bet 0-0. And then if somebody scores, I don't have to care about the game. I may even bet 0-0 at like +700. I love it at +310. I also love the Union Berlin Leipzig draw at the same time at +280 because Unions look really good and they're always undervalued. But I'm going to bet some soccer. If I do well in soccer, I'm actually not going to bet UFC big until after soccer because I am heavily fucking invested in the Super Bowl. So,
oh yeah. You know, I don't know how true this is, but I heard Ronaldo's contract has a clause in it because the owner of that Saudi club is the same owner as Newcastle. If Newcastle
he can leave if they make the Champions League. He can leave.
So that's true.
But it doesn't mean Newcastle wants him. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Newcastle would take him.
Are you kidding?
No, because Eddie Howe who I wanted as United's manager. What do you know about Eddie Howe? Do you know anything about that? And by the way, this isn't even
First
about
time I hear
soccer.
his name.
This is a lesson for all of you out there. I love this fucking dude. You know how like Wrexham is the big like rage thing have you heard of Wrexham? Because Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds own Wrexham. They're a team in the lowest tier of English football that is like whatever. Well, Bournemouth 12 years ago was in that tier. And in 7 years, they pulled the miracle that Wrexham's looking for. They went from the bottom of football to the Premier League. Eddie Howe was the manager. He gets the most out of his talent. Now he is at Newcastle. This is his next job. And now he's got Saudi money. This has to be said, that Saudi-owned club.
Yep.
But they haven't overspent yet. And he is taking the guys that were already there and elevating them. He is making this team. They are playing like a fucking team. And as somebody who, I'm a Manchester United fan, I've dealt with Ronaldo. This isn't like the days of Real Madrid. Ronaldo does not make your club better anymore. Because it's like Kyrie Irving. It's like some of these athletes. If the whole team has to funnel through you, if the team's already playing really well and it's chemistry and you have like 4 or 5 guys that can be that hero every night, like there's only one team ever that I've ever seen in my life in any sport that had one guy where the team was good because everybody else did their roles. And this team is very near and dear to me, and it's your best betting sport. You want to take a guess what team that was? Or specifically what athlete that was? I'll give you a hint. He played point guard.
Well, how long are we talking? How long ago?
Well, I said it's near and dear to my heart, and he played point guard. That should just give.
Oh, Allen Iverson.
Dude.
No.
Yeah. Oh my
Oh,
God.
okay. I was about to say, wait.
But that team that made the title game with Iverson, dude, you had George Lynch. He's like, I'm just getting rebounds and kicking it out. You had Aaron Snow, who's like, or Aaron McKee, who's like, I'll take threes when you need it. You had Eric Snow, who's like, I never want to shoot. You had, before he got hurt, Theo Ratliff's like, I'm going to get 20 boards a goddamn game. You had Space Alien Ty Hill just saying, I'm also going to get boards, and just kick it out to Iverson. Like, they would have just feed Iverson. They're like, dude, anytime you miss, we're going to like get rebounds, foul, and kick it right back out to you. Or if Aaron McKee's open, we're just going to like shoot threes. That was a
You
team
want to
that
know
was
who
like,
the new age Iverson?
huh?
Do you know who the new age Iverson is?
Don't say Kyrie.
No. Kyrie's better.
Shea Gregorius?
No. Shea Gregorius. You mean Shea Gilgeous?
He's kind of, yeah, I mean, kind of is. But who do you think?
It's I mean, it's not a direct comparison, but I see the aggression and the dribbling skills. John Morant.
Oh, I don't
But
agree.
John Morant's just a heck more athletic.
I don't agree because I think Morant is like so much better.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he's not, but I think it's a similar.
Morant's but Morant I think makes his teammates better.
That's true,
Iverson didn't make his teammates better. Iverson was like, I can get hit every single time I drive, and I'm never going down. Morant doesn't have the toughness. Like Iverson has like just legendary fucking tough. Can I tell you the Iverson story? Did I ever tell you the story with him? Can I tell it on air?
I mean,
I told it on air.
On air, no, you have not.
We should tag him because he'll be your boy now that you're like making gambles. So just quick thing with Iverson, through a chain of events, like my boss owns a club, and like I got to meet and know Allen Iverson, and I'm not gonna say like I didn't fanboy him. Of course I did. He's a lonely dude. He didn't like, he was surrounded by the wrong people. When he realized like, hey, oh, you're buying me a shot. I'm like, why wouldn't I? Like, you're fucking great. Like, nobody ever like did anything good for him. And when you realize like, hey man, it's cool that I can like do it. Guy hung out alone. He was a loner. He loved just people who were like, oh, you don't need money from me. Like, I want to be your friend. Iverson's a cool dude, man. I know he's done some fucked up shit, but he always treated me really good, man. Like, he was good. I had like a 4-month run, and he hated Matt Geiger and told me what a rapist he was. So I love that. Like, I had a small window in my life when like me and him would he'd be like, "Are you at the club?" Like, he'd text me when we had like the brick phones, because I'm old as shit. Like, we had big phones, and he'd be like, "Are you at the club?" And I'm like, I said I can go there, and he'd be like, "Cool." And then I'm like, in my head, I'm like, he has a game tonight. Like, what? And he wanted to hang, dude. He was a cool dude. So hey man, I'm not like, I was starstruck. It was cool. I was young.
How could you not be? The guy was.
I was 20, dude. I was 22 years old. I wasn't like some ugly bald motherfucker like I am now. I was good looking. I was in shape. Like, I mean, look, I'm still the definition of definition. Speaking of which, look, by the way, 45 years old. I'm not fat. Dude, 45 years old. Am I a big dude?
How many cheesesteaks are you having a week?
None, because I care about my health. Like, how many? What's my like here? Like, one.
That's good.
No, I mean, you can cheat, but like.
Oh, of course, you have to. It's like
Dude,
a mental thing. You kind of have to.
Wiz, you know how like you're in shape kicking the bags? Yeah. I used to be like that, dude. It's like, dude, all you young motherfuckers, I was you. I'm your future.
You are my father.
Do you know why I'm not impressed with any of this? Not you. You're obviously like, I've seen some, I won't mention, but I've seen some people challenging you, even if it's joking. Oh, I'm hitting the bags. I say it. And he's a buddy of mine.
Evan,
by the way,
where are the kicks, Evan?
And by the way, he's 15 minutes from me too. Evan's super local to where I live. Do you know what the problem with all these dudes is? That like they flex that they're in shape. Do you know why I'm not impressed? None of these bitches ever been in a fight, man. Not about saying being in a fight's fun.
Probably true. Yeah, it's not fun.
Wiz, how many fights have been in?
Unless it's regulated.
No, Wiz. Nobody wins in a fight. It's not fun, dude. It's not fun. It's not fun mentally. It's exhausting. I've been in way too many of them. I'd rather be a cautionary tale. Like, I want to be I'm not saying go fight.
What about like the adrenaline rush? You're like,
Yeah, and then you know what happens? Like, look, dude, can we talk about the robbery for a second? Because this is important. This is very important.
Because I gotta dip in like a couple of minutes.
We're done. Here, this is the cautionary tale for the people. So we had a robbery here.
Oh wait, Evan wants to hop in for a second. He's still here. Evan.
Lou, why are you saying I'm local to you?
Oh, there's another Evan he's talking about.
No. Evan.
I was so confused. I'm like, dude, you're not in Arizona.
No, we're talking about somebody else on Twitter. Look, Evan. His Evan is his like, it's like 7 A's.
It's Evan.
We're not talking about you, dude. All right, get him out of here. Get him out. Let's get him out. So we had a robbery here a few months ago. I busted it up, and no good deed goes unpunished. We're still paying for it with our time, with whatever. My point before, as we dip, is I love my girlfriend. She's not hearing, and she can't even hear a goddamn thing I say right now, which is just, I love her. And they were robbing her car, and 100 times out of 100, I'm going to do what I did. And there's like 90 ways this could have gone wrong for me, but I acted and now I'm still paying for it. But if I had to go out there and take a beating and know that was going to replay it, I'm still doing it, dude. Like, I don't give a fuck, dude.
As you should.
I'm a crazy old man that can take a beating. Like Wiz, you kick me 38 times in the face. You're going to knock me out. Like,
you might be somehow related to Derek Minner.
No, because I don't fix fights. Like, I'm gonna keep getting up. Like,
Wait,
I'm
no,
gonna be like,
sorry. I fucking missed
Elkins.
Darren Elkins. Wrong Darren.
Oh yeah. So
The damage.
anyway, yeah, it's tough getting old, and also anybody watching, don't get old and be Wiz, because he's what I but also I'm your cautionary tale, bitches, and I'm still hanging out. Hey, but also more importantly, 45 years old, still
Everyone's favorite 45-year-old.
still semi muscular and still skinny. Like, dude, how many 45-year-olds do you think like look like this?
From what I see in California, not many.
Well, I'm saying, like, dude. All right, let's take us home, Wiz.
People.
Tell the people where
haven't
you are
already.
tomorrow, other than you.
Do you see this guy right here? You see that little tag right there? Make sure you follow Lou. Make sure you follow the MMA Engine. We put in a lot of effort in what we do individually and in the show, and all of this is for you guys. And we just hope that you guys enjoy it. It gives you some sort of value. If throughout the season we've won you some money, we've given you some entertainment, some laughs, subscribe to the channel, follow Lou, follow myself at WizBets on Twitter. Tomorrow, as we said, we're going to be live breaking down the UFC 284 card at 4:30 Eastern with the homies, with the horsemen, LouBetya, Gordo, Liam. From the bottom of my heart, I didn't expect this show to pop off like this, and I'm just appreciative of everyone that's been active in the comments. The support has been unreal, and the amount of DMs that we receive after each show and after each week when the last game is played, just about like results and just entertainment value. It makes it worth the show. And all I ask for is the continued support, and we'll be back next season, and we'll think of another show to do until then. Don't worry, this is not the last of
I mean, I think we're probably gonna have to pull out, like, maybe we do Champions League stuff, dude.
I might be down for that.
I mean, it's only a couple games, like, as the tournament goes
Yeah.
on. Maybe we'll do some champ. How about this? If Wiz tells you if Wiz tells you we're doing a gambling show, we do it. And just so you guys know, just because Wiz is the public face of like winning every goddamn bet, you know what Wiz knows about me? When I win, I don't say a fucking word, man.
That's true.
I say it to Wiz. No, I say it to Wiz. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how the fuck did I hit this bet? But we have our knowledge together. So if we're gonna announce something,
together we were powerful. That's all I will leave this show hanging on. The cliffhanger. Together we are powerful. Look forward to the future. Lou, any last comments? Final show of the year, of the season.
Yeah, let's end it on a great note. We had a guest panel. I just want you guys to know we had a guest panel, and they're all whatever. Wiz and I both told you bet the fucking Eagles.
I know Evan's still watching this. He's gonna be mad.
So there's that. We told you to bet the Eagles, and yeah,
maybe a little late night happy hour show. Who knows? Maybe. All right, guys. Until next season. Signing off. Peace.